I took first service oil from 12 new motorcycles.
Some were clearly made with pride in hermetically sealed workshops, while others wouldn't pass muster in a North Korean prison factory.
The moral of this story is so compelling, we'd better start from the beginning. So, I was just contacted by a cleanliness technician at a major car company, and their job is to run first service oil through a software-equipped microscope that counts the number of particles, bigger than 5 micrometers, bigger than 10, 15, etc., etc. It's like a report card for how clean the manufacturing is. And this person has offered some extremely expensive lab hours to run tests for us. It's a rare opportunity.
You've heard the hearsay. Japanese parts fit together tighter than a nun's knees. German build quality blitzes triumph. Italian machining is done after a 3-hour liquid lunch. Harley-Davidson tolerances are measured in feet. And Chinese knockoffs are so poorly executed, they escape copyright laws.
But now we have a chance to test the stereotypes. Objectively. I've promised to keep our anonymous lab partner anonymous, but I can tell you that the car maker they work for is not Honda or BMW or any other company with skin in this game. Of course, we won't be involving the manufacturers either. They'd only cheat or otherwise refuse to play, like Russia.
So I light the bat signal for volunteers with brand new bikes and thank you. Thank all of you.
Now, our method is prescribed by the anonymous scientist. What she said to do, and it's not necessarily a woman, but let's pretend, because she said to
warm the oil in preparation.
That's what she said.
Prepare unused sterile containers to trap all fluids.
That's what she said.
Shake vigorously.
That's what she said.
Then take a 100 milliliter deposit.
After that, we just do what DJ Khaled would do.
Another one, plus Harley-Davidson, Yinchang, BMW, Triumph, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha, and Aprilia.
Now these samples are destined to fly across the world for proper analysis. But if I had to ballpark it on a scale from 1 to Italian, the cliches are looking accurate. Hot off the plane are results. And immediately there's a problem.
The Chinese motor was so full of shit, it broke the fancy microscope.
What do you want to talk to me for? I didn't do anything.
I understand you were doing some kind of experiment today.
Seriously, these are just the contaminants from a quarter of our sample. The lab software couldn't analyze any more, so they tested 25 milliliters and multiplied by 4.
Remember that we're talking about carbon and metal shavings, but also cloth fibers, sand from molds, plastic from packaging, all things you'd find in an assembly area, but not things you'd want in a cleanly and precisely built motor. While most samples play in the hundreds of thousands, Yinchang hits 11,880,000 particles. The only other bikes in the millions, unsurprisingly, are Italian, Aprilia and Ducati.
Nacque così un mezzo a 2 ruote, potente, veloce, ma con qualche inconveniente.
The picture at 5 micrometers is echoed at 15, and 50, and 100.
Ooh. See, the small particles mean grinding, blasting, abrasion, premature wear. Medium particulate will cause actual mechanical alterations like scratching and imprinting, while the biggest stuff can lead to clogging and engine failure. All bad.
We tried to count particles even larger than that, but our results were skewed. Because the Chinese and Italian motors are so grubby, their particles clump together and fool our microscope into seeing one big contaminant.
Science is a bitch. So let's throw out the large particle numbers and eliminate our worst 3 offenders while we're at it.
Without China and Italy blowing our order of magnitude, we can actually see a gradation between the rest.
Now, before you get too judgy about Harley, know that all these finalists are within a margin of error of VDA 19, which is the standard for automotive cleanliness set by, surprise, the Germans. Basically, other than our Chinese and Italian motors, all the engines are considered clean enough. For now. See, we currently use lead composites to build the spinny parts of motors, which is smart because lead is soft enough to absorb particulate instead of grinding out of round. However, the EU is starting to ban heavy metals in engines. Bye lead. At that point, cleanliness becomes more important than ever.
So if tomorrow finds another goat among the sheep, it may be Harley. It probably won't be Royal Enfield.
What a fantastic result. You know how shitty it would be to be a real Nigerian prince? That's kind of Enfield's lot in life.
When they reinvented themselves a few years ago, they said, yeah, Enfields have a reputation for being consistently crap, but we overhauled the lineup, retooled every factory. We promise our new 650 twins are legit.
It's hard to believe, eh?
I felt like it might be true after riding the Continental GT, but it's brilliant that we can now say with scientific backing that Royal Enfield is vindicated. Their new bikes are built tight.
So, the Indian mark tops our list. An unexpected cherry atop this sundae of confirmed cliches. Of course, our sample size is tiny, so at the inevitable risk of reading into it too much, we verified that Europe is not a waste of money, be it BMW, KTM, even a lightly Brexiting Triumph. Japan, also generally well made. They say one must be careful choosing a Japanese bike because if you get it, you'll have it for life, like herpes. Harley is flirting with the edge of tomorrow's acceptability, but not nearly as shoddy as the Italians. Fabio and Paolo are here for a good time, not a long time. Then our Chinese motor is not fantastic. Actually not good or adequate or subpar, it's atrocious. But cheap. Thank you very much for watching, and especially thanks to Jason, Gal, Eric, Lily, Pavel, Ian, James, David, Adam, Dennis, and Emily for trusting me to steal oil from your brand new babies. My greatest gratitude goes to the one person who doesn't want it. Anonymous Lab Tech, you know who you are, I know who you are. Thank you.